On this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game deltagreen. Deltagreen is a mature tabletop RPG that tackles various dark and unsettling themes and topics that some listeners may find traumatizing, harmful, or generally uncomfortable. Listener discretion is advised. All right, so the sheriff's office is a fascinating building. It is a two-story building. As best you can tell, the top story is an apartment, and the bottom story is the sheriff's office. It has sheriff's vehicle, which appears to be kind of a modified Jeep parked out front of it. It's got a pretty traditional entrance. You can kind of see some lights on inside and kind of the figure of a person sitting behind a desk just kind of hanging there as best you can tell.
Let's head in.
As seems to be the norm with this town, as the door swings open, it makes that kind of old-timey bell clanging sound as something rattles about inside of it. And the sheriff looks up kind of surprised at you. He looks a little bit tired, maybe a little bit hungover. You can't quite tell type of thing. There's a dreariness to him, though. And he goes, "Oh, it's you three. What brings you by? Any leads or progress in the case?"
Well, we kind of actually wanted to talk to you and pick your brain about a couple things, but you seem a little rugged. You want some water, bud?
Kind of shakes his hand away and holds up a cup of coffee. I'll be fine. Between fetching you last night and dealing with the mayor and doing my normal duties, it was a late night.
Gotcha. You know, we kind of were looking to explore the town a little bit, but for whatever reason, it wasn't very well lit outside of the main square. Were you just kind of roaming around in the utter dark?
Kind of gestures his head out towards this vehicle. I mean, it's got some extra lights on, and I guess you get used to it too. I've been here for a little while. You kind of learn to see in the dark, I guess, a little bit more than normal. Dad points out his window. That is the, only street lamp for, at least a quarter mile.
So what made you pick up this position? I was talking to... Damn, we didn't even get her name. Best breakfast burritos in town.
Julia, yeah.
Julia, there we go.
Fucking gossip. Yeah, I suspect she'll slip. I used to be a park ranger.
Yeah, it's a career change.
He shrugs. He's like, I don't know. Both come with a badge, both come with a gun, I guess, technically. I figured this would be a little bit, I don't know. I was getting a little stir crazy being out in the wilderness all the time, and this popped up. I was working as kind of like a park ranger on the mainland. There was an ad that went out. Old sheriff saying he was looking to retire, was looking to replace someone. I applied. I got the job somehow. I now get the fun job of defending that job every few years.
I heard. Christopher Nord, right? Is he still trying to get your position?
He shrugs. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose.
What does that mean?
Oh, right, you're not from here. Because of the retirement, the election's coming up for that, and I get the fun job of defending my title. I'm not too worried about it. My campaign so far has been, hey, I'm already the sheriff. People seem to respond well to that.
It's a fairly good argument, I'd say.
So what brings you by exactly, aside for the best breakfast in town that I can't eat?
You can't eat?
And I've looks at you. The ham.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, they have eggs.
Kind of raises an eyebrow. Yeah, they have eggs, but I'm pretty sure that grill she's got going on there legally qualifies as a pig at this point.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That was good, though.
So, unfortunately, we're a little, not ill-prepared, but we had some unexpected complications that we were hoping to borrow some gear from.
Kind of rolls the idea around his head. I'm not exactly in the habit of renting out what little resources I have. You gotta understand, right?
I do. I understand that you probably have enough resources to cover what you need to do on the island.
Not really, but also it sets a dangerous precedent where I start loaning gear out to you, and then suddenly, I don't know, Alan stops by and wants to borrow my rifle to go hunt some deer, and I never get my rifle back, and then I need my rifle sometime down the road, and Alan still in theory got it, but I don't know that for a fact. And you see where I'm going with this?
Yes. But not everyone here is a government official on this
I
island.
mean, sure, but also like I suspect you have some like fancy accounting budget or something like that that you could tap into or get some type of like supply shipped out to you. Also, unless you've got something to tell me, what exactly are you looking for firearms for?
I kind of look at Stark.
It's less that we need them and more that kind of lends authority. I mean, it doesn't sound as good when we say, we're from so and so, when a lot of people don't even realize that that kind of law enforcement exists.
So he kind of like leans across the desk some and steeples his fingers. So what you're saying is that despite your badges, everyone knowing here that you're here for the investigation, the mayor introducing you around and stuff like that, you need a gun to maintain authority here on this tiny island.
I would say that the mayor introducing us to people has actually undermined our authority.
I don't doubt it, but my point still stands.
I think specifically it might send a message to the mayor that we're not his.
Kind of leans back some and adopts kind of a casual pose. Oh, trust me, there's not a lot you can do short of taking the job of sheriff to make sure the mayor knows you're not his.
Well, that's specifically our intention, so.
I feel like you have enough experience, seeing as how you've been doing this for a little bit. What is your repertoire in handling mayor?
Give me persuade.
That is a 37 out of 40% success.
So Sheriff Musaf kind of relaxes a little bit and kind of seems to untense a little bit, kind of looking at you. Honestly, I don't. I remind Thomas that I am the sheriff, and that means, for better or worse, I am the law on this little island of his, and that we only get along as well as we do because so far we've had no issues. The man is pushy, opinionated, and really doesn't like that I have the job I have.
Well, if that's the case, what do you have on your docket today?
And raises an eyebrow. Well, I'm going to drink this cup of coffee, shakes it a little bit, probably have a donut, drink a second cup of coffee, and then I'm going to wonder why the hell 3 investigators here to investigate the first murderer in basically forever on this island care what my schedule's like.
Well, unfortunately, neither of us have a car. We weren't able to really take that on with us through the ferry. I was wondering whether or not we could either borrow it, or if you are available for a ride-along. Or if you don't want any of us to sully your car, if you could do us a favor and do a patrol search, unless, of course, that's already something that you've managed.
Kind of narrows his eyes at you a little bit. What exactly are you looking for?
Any kind of last known markers of Rebecca, whether or not she had borrowed a car or anything else like that. Julie, at some point in time, had said that Rebecca had come by to purchase something from her. I think she mentioned that she purchased gas. I'm just trying to figure out what was the vehicle that she was looking to purchase gas from, if it was a car or if it was a boat.
Yeah, it kind of makes a face at that. Well, it wouldn't have been a boat. You'd buy gas for that down at the dock. Also, car gas doesn't work on most boats.
Diesel, either way. I don't know whether if she knew that or anything else of the sort. But nonetheless, I'm wondering whether or not Rebecca has a left vehicle or if there was a vehicle that seems out of place. I'm pretty certain that you probably know where vehicles should be at the end of the night.
Kind of nods at this. Nothing's been reported stolen, which means it's unlikely she had a vehicle because it's not exactly a thriving rental market here on the island. If you're looking for her last known location, as best we can tell, it was the Landing Inn, which that's back up of the hill and kind of down the side some. Not a bad walk, but nothing under a bad walk necessarily. If you want to get out into the sticks, I guess I can give you a lift, but there's not much out there except wetlands, the occasional trailer, and remains of drunk teenagers.
Do you mind if I step outside real quick?
I have looks at you, shrugs. Your time, not mine.
Can we discuss outside?
Yeah.
All right, so you step outside?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I don't think that he, other than his apprehension to loan us any firearms, honestly, I don't even know if he even has enough firearms to fully equip or decently equip all of us.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I thought we were going to steal them.
Oh, I wish I knew that beforehand.
Yeah, I probably should have said something.
Are we still attempting to do so?
No, I don't think so. If they go missing now, we are sort of the primary suspect.
Okay. In that regard, do we want to try to employ Sheriff Wusoff in anything else that we need to do? I guess that really the only other thing that we need to check for Rebecca is her missed check-in or the landing in and whatnot.
I'm not exactly sure.
Saga, what do you think?
Now that I'm thinking about it, how we even gone to go look at Rebecca's body at all?
No, we haven't. Unfortunately, that's not something that we aimed to go for, or at least I might have been a little jumbled seeing as how I was possessed.
I know we talked about it early on, but like...
It's on the mainland. You got the report about the kind of autopsy of it, but...
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought we had
What's in the
determined that the body was basically something we didn't look at.
You were told it was, yeah.
Cable talk. In my notes, I have sinkhole-1911.
Yes. So, to remind you, there are 2 islands technically as part of this island. You're on the main island or the big island. From the kind of town center, you can see the smaller / second island.
Isn't that where the lighthouse is at?
It is.
That's right. There's a lighthouse.
And a giant water-filled hole in the small island that takes up the majority of it. There also used to be a bridge that connected the large island to the small island.
Okay, I remember the lighthouse. That was a thing that you brought up at some point. I'm like, we're going to end up being there at some point. But anyway.
Cool. That's another point of interest. Do you think the sheriff has a boat? He's got to have a boat, right?
He brought you over on something.
Oh, I thought that was a ferry. That was the sheriff's personal boat.
That was not the ferry, but it was a boat.
Okay.
I mean, even if the sheriff doesn't, we can probably ask around some of the locals and find someone who's willing to get us over there. Shouldn't be too difficult.
He seems grumpy, but he's a sheriff of a small town who I think has a comfy enough job. We might be able to at least trust him enough to not be in Thomas Red's pocket. I think I would rather petition him on ferrying us than a random stranger. I'll eat the food, but when it comes to being stranded on open water in the freezing cold, I'd rather have someone that I can kind of know a little bit better.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. Even if he is grumpy, like, yeah, no, that tracks.
So, do we want to check in, or at least check out landing in and maybe come back for the island? Or do you think that we have some other things that we need to check out or look around the island?
What time is it in the day?
Still kind of the morning. Probably slowly getting towards later morning, but still before the noon.
Okay. I'll say if we're considering going off to the other island, might want to take advantage of the daylight as much as we can, because potentially trying to trek over there and dealing with sunset and darkness might be an issue.
That's true. Trying to visit a mysterious island in the dark versus a known building in the dark is probably less favorable.
Yeah, I just figured we'd work our way from the outside in and use as much of the daylight as we can from the outside, or on the outside, rather. At least if we're back on the main island and it's getting dark, we can settle back in where we need to and not have to worry about, like, rushing. Just a thought. I also don't want to explore anything that is potentially a sinkhole, quote unquote, in the dark.
True. So, who's charming enough, do you think, that can borrow a boat? Probably me, isn't it?
I mean, I can be persuasive, but I'm not exactly sure what I would say. Asked to borrow someone's boat. Are we still getting the sheriff to pilot it? Because I don't know how to pilot a boat.
Neither do I.
Bunch of boats down the dock probably have owners.
I'm looking at my skills to see if there's like a drive wouldn't count for it, would it?
I mean, it probably counts towards its sum, but there is a whole separate concept of it's like pilot boat. So you
Okay.
pilot a boat, you don't drive a boat.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if like does it kind of intersect? Not really.
I
but-
mean, like I'd say like a high enough drive probably makes you at least like borderline competent at driving a boat, but
yeah, no, I was just kind of curious because I mean my drive's nowhere near high, but like I was just kind of.
I will go so far as to say that like if you're a NASCAR driver, you can probably pilot a boat.
Do you think it's early enough in the day that we could rent a couple paddle swans?
You're gonna take paddle swans out into a Great Lake in winter.
I'm not exactly sure it's wise for us to paddle our way out to an island in the middle of, I mean, this kind of weather. I don't know about you, but if I fall in, I'm probably drowning.
I do find it amusing that you're taking me seriously. I'm gonna at least give it a shot with the sheriff.
Okay.
And I hop back inside. Sheriff Usoff, you a wassail man?
No, I don't exactly drink. It's not anymore.
Well, at least wanted to give it a try. What do I need to do in order to bribe you into piloting us to the sinkhole island?
Interesting choice of words when addressing a kind of pauses for a sec. Am I technically a servant of the court? Definitely a fixture of the law around here, but where'd you say you wanted to go again?
The other island. We want to cover as much ground as possible. Also, you don't have to take me 100% seriously. Just because I am a federal investigator doesn't mean that I'm here to bring down the judicial hammer or the federal hammer. We are people too, you know.
And it smiles at you and goes, "You don't think I'm not going to have my fun when some feds come into my territory?"
See, there it is. I just need to know whether or not you're jabbing or fainting.
I mean, to be fair, you did come in here earlier asking if you could borrow a bunch of my guns. I have 2 guns.
That was not my idea.
Shrugs at this. I don't have something that you can really use to get out to the small island, but one of the local fishermen probably over at the dock does. You won't need anything big. And pauses for a second, thinks about it. You might actually have better luck going back into town and seeing if anyone there has a dinghy or anything like that. So I'm kind of like pushes some stuff across his desk to kind of clear off and shows a map under some plexiglass or like a transparent plastic. And he goes, okay, so as you can see here, you've got the main island here, and you're kind of roughly here right now. Small island's over here, kind of like points to the gap in between the two. The currents here are real fucking bad, as I understand them. Like, surprisingly strong. Something about the lake tides come in, they hit the island, and because of the kind of funnel created by the island shape, they just rocket through there. They're real unpredictable or something. So what people typically do is they kind of go out and around, kind of traces, and goes to the backside of the small and kind of come in here. I think there's like a landing or something over by the lighthouse that's no longer used anymore. No one really goes out there, but you can probably find one of the fishermen. They'll at least give you a trip over to that or something. Taps the small island. Once you're there, though, it's pretty dangerous, is my understanding. I've never bothered to go, haven't really had a reason to or need to, but my understanding is the ground's real unstable, and not uncommon to kind of hear something falling off the edge into the, I guess, like pit, you'd call it, I guess, as it kind of slowly erodes or something like that. Kind of like looks up. My understanding is it's almost actually kind of like a hollow thing out there almost. Like it's, the hole kind of expands out to almost like a bell shape or something underneath it or something. It's really dangerous being out there. Plenty of chances to fall through the ground into the water. And once you're in it, you're not getting out, is my understanding.
Gotcha. So find a good guide. Do you have anyone you can vouch for? I'm going to imagine that we're trying to stay away from the last names of Nord and Red.
I mean, honestly, the Thorpes are fine. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd trust a Red necessarily, but also just going over to check out the small island. I may have a person that might be looking for some work, actually, now that I think about it.
What's the name?
Go down to the docks and ask for Shecky Yoder.
Is that an alias or is that somebody's?
Oh, God, I wish. He's among Shecky's many local town distinctions, aside from being the town drunk. He's also one of the better boat mechanics on the island, and while he's too old to go out fishing, as he puts it, still maintains a couple small boats, is my understanding. Been with the Thorpes longer than he can remember, is my understanding, too.
All right. Thank you for the tip. What's your donut preference?
Kind of laughs. He goes, you understand we get like one type of donut on it. It's whatever comes in the bags they get up over at the town store.
Well, if we ever run into each other again, I owe you one. Or a breakfast burrito, I guess. No, you can't eat those. I'll figure something out. Thank you.
Kind of smiles and extends his hand. To your safe travels, I suppose.
Go ahead and shake.
I'm assuming you exit at this point?
Yes.
Sheriff Musaf kind of winces a little bit, the loud clanging bell as you exit type of thing, and find yourself back outside. What do you do?
Were you all inside as well, or did I just kind of pop in by myself?
I assume you were by yourself.
Yeah, I waited outside.
Yeah, we're just kind of letting you do your thing on that one.
All right. He doesn't have a boat, but he does have somebody. There is someone down at the docks. Island's best boat mechanic, also Island's drunk. His name is Shecky Yoder. That is his government name.
That's not real.
This island is on the borderline of my psychosis. It is as real as we'll allow it to be. And is as real as it will function into getting us to that island. Otherwise, we can kind of ask around more, but at least we have a someone that the sheriff can vouch for, even if he is his imaginary friend.
I'm sorry, you just told me someone's name is Shecky Yoder.
I know. I still might be processing it too. But at this point in time, especially with this trade or with this job, I just have to accept it until it digests.
Okay.
That's my lead. So then, shall we?
Yeah.
The docks.
Yes, as you approach, you do notice a couple people you did not notice previously. There are a couple, maybe fishermen, maybe kind of dock hands you can't quite tell kind of about, typically dressed in kind of like rubber overalls or coveralls type of thing, heavy sweaters, thick gloves type of thing. They all notice as you approach, kind of give you a head nod of acknowledgement, go back to working on something or smoking or whatnot. There does appear to be kind of, as you're getting closer to this thing, you notice there's a like main office of sorts. It's got a very kind of rustic dock office look to it, if you will. Lots of buoys hanging outside of it, several nets just kind of decoratively attached to it. There's also a collection of docks with a variety of boats on them. What do you do?
Is there a dock worker that's just kind of smoking, like idling about?
Yeah, several.
Cool. I want to walk up to one of the ones that is not in the middle of doing something. And I say, hey there, good morning. I am looking for Shecky Yoder.
Like 3 heads snap to look at you at the name Shecky Yoder being mentioned. The one kind you're talking directly to looks at you. And what business do you have with Mr. Yoder?
I am doing some liaison work with the sheriff.
And what does the sheriff need liaison with Mr. Yoder?
It's more of me. I just wanted to ask him a couple questions.
And what kind of questions might one have for Mr. Yoder?
If he's looking for some work.
Kind of like leans in real close and you smell the cigarettes and the coffee and the fish on this man's breath. Mr. Yoder is a busy but unreliable individual. What kind of work would you be looking to hire Mr. Yoder for?
The nature of my job is a personal matter. I hope you don't mind. I could always ask somebody else if it's not something that you're willing to share.
You have to understand we all are very fond of Mr. Yoder and would not like to see anything befall our favorite mechanic.
I promise you, this is all in good faith. At no point in time are we looking to disparage Mr. Yoder. I'm just looking for some very specific help.
I can sincerely assure you that the dock personnel would be very upset if something were to happen to Mr. Yoder.
Well, you have my word. Eagle Scout's honor.
So as you're saying that, what you thought was a pile of rope and nets and like burlap falls off of a small little shelf, and a 5'4" man kind of stands up out of the pile of stuff and brushes himself off and kind of looks at you. Abel, that's enough. You can stop fucking with him. The large dock worker kind of smiles at you wickedly and steps back and goes back to smoking. This dude kind of like stumbles over a little bit, has a bit of a bad leg. He is old, maybe 60s, maybe 70s, lots of gray hair, bit of a beard going on, sun-kempt. He's wearing kind of a vintage yellow rain jacket. Typical kind of white and dark blue striped shirt. Looks at you. And what do you be looking to hire Shecky Yoder for? Why'd you disturb my morning nap?
I whisper to Saga, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know, but I feel like we have to let this play out now.
This doesn't feel real.
No. This is real. We have to let this play out.
I just nod.
We're looking for a safe passage to the smaller island.
No such thing. What else you want?
The Sinkhole Island? The one over there?
I'm well aware the island exists. There's no such thing as safe passage.
Okay. The least troublesome passage. The least likely chance that we're going to die, because I can't pilot a boat.
Slowly runs his fingers through his scraggly beard. Least troublesome, you say? That sounds like it would be a expensive venture, taking days to reach and gallons of alcohol to make the journey safe.
How about a middle way where we do this in a little bit and I get you 2 handles?
2 handles, you say? Walk with me. We'll head towards my boat. We'll finalize the deal when we get there. I do apologize. My large boat is under refurb right now. I can only take 2 of the 3 of you.
2 of the 3.
It is not a robust boat.
All right.
I suppose we could take all 3, but the dangers do increase exponentially as the boat becomes unbalanced.
Let's look at this boat. And I wave to follow over to Saga and Spark.
I will follow.
I follow as well.
I stand there for like 4 or 5 seconds after Saga goes, like looking between the pile where Shecky came out of and like the group, and then I start following them, just bewildered.
Yeah, so as you're walking, I do apologize for me entrance. I fell asleep last night after a night of consorting with the boys on the docks, and overheard your inquiring about my services.
Oh, no worries. A man needs to keep warm in the night. Ropes will do it.
Indeed. I'm glad we understand each other. So leads you down a couple little bit of a ways, and eventually you kind of approach I'm not going to call it obviously less used, but maybe like less well-maintained chunk of the docks. The ships here definitely have an older look to them. Not bad shape, but definitely kind of more wear and tear going on, and kind of indicates a small galvanized steel outboard motor boat is the one he has available type of thing. There's the current vessel. It's not much, but it'll get us there. And as described, in total, it can comfortably fit 3 people. Looking at it, you understand why maybe 4 people might create a bit of a balance issue. If you were to hit a wave badly or something were to go wrong, the chances of someone falling out are high. This is basically a floating bathtub with an engine attached to it by all measures.
Is it captain, or what's your preferred title?
I like the sound of captain for today. That works for me.
You're the pilot. Captain Yoder. Question, are you a wassail man, or are you more of a actual spirits kind of guy?
I have no need for the holiday spirits.
It's good to know. Good to know, man with taste. Now, have you heard of this Rebecca Goldblatt? You might have heard the rumors. Or not rumors, but the news that's been passing around.
Give me a human int.
That is a 96 out of 22 failure.
The rest of you give me a human int at -10.
51 out of a modified 4% failure.
95% out of 12 minus 10 for a 2 failure.
Kind of shrugs at this. Maybe I've heard of her, maybe I haven't. She died, didn't she?
She did. Drowned, unfortunately. No vessel that I have heard from. Nothing in the reports or anything else like that. We're kind of investigating how she died, why she died. We want to cover as much ground as possible. So I would like to keep this venture a bit discreet as much as I can. I just want to be forward with you.
Well, any friends of the sheriff's are friends of mine, so I suppose we can do that.
How quickly can you get this boat running?
She is sea ready at the drop of a hat. I like to keep her gassed up and ready to go.
All right. So, with that being said, between the three of us, which of us is going, and does that mean the other person is heading to the inn?
I can stay and I can look into stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'll go.
The only reason I say I can do it is, let's just say that I was the first one to not become susceptible to our issues. That makes sense?
Yep, that is fair.
While you are checking out the inn, do you think it would be a good idea, just so that way you can be partnered up, if we ask the sheriff to accompany you? Just in case if you run into any kind of trouble.
I mean, I can ask him, sure.
It's up to you. I just wanted to throw that suggestion out there. I'm not saying that you're completely capable. You were able to assist me when I was having a bit of a crisis.
No, I'm not worried about you calling me incapable or anything. I think that the sheriff can be trusted.
Okay. I look at the boat again. Are there life preservation units? Is there like at least a fucking like donut, a float donut?
There is, but kind of Shecky catches your eye looking at it and looks at you and kind of laughs a little bit under his breath. Trust me, lad, if you hit the water, you're going to want to drown. Death by freezing out in the open waters is a far worse way to go. It's amazing what happens, really. You hit the water, you go into shock, you start to sink, it gets colder, you go further into shock. And then, if you're lucky, the air escapes your lungs and you die one merciful death, and are spared the sensation of drowning while your blood freezes.
Now, will you be imbibing while you pilot, or is that something that you will be saving for the docks?
He looks at you kind of with a cockamamie look in his eye and just kind of like winks.
Ideal. Do you take cash, or do you take cash only, or is this something that we could negotiate a payment?
As I said, any friend of the sheriff's a friend of mine.
Two handles it is then. All right.
Alan's a good lad. He tries hard for this town. The fact he sent you my way means he's trying to get something done. And while Mr. Thorpe has been nothing but good to me, I cannot say the rest about the island.
It sounds like you have some gossip, or at least something to take it, or something to give.
I've been here a long time. I've seen islands stay the same. Many things don't stay the same. The island somehow does.
Now, apparently that sinkhole showed up in 1911. I don't think you were alive around that time.
He looks at you kind of in mock surprise at this. As a spry lad of my 20s, of course I was not here. No, I was not here. I'm not that old. Jackass.
I was making a joke. Now, obviously you haven't been here around the entire time, but has that kind of situation where it's just been a random ass hole in the middle of that island been like that?
That is my understanding, yes. There used to be a bridge long ago that connected the two, but that went when the sinkhole formed. My understanding was a little while back there was some tourism to be had taking people out there, but there may have been incidents or something.
What were the incidents? Just people falling through, people falling over?
Indeed.
All right.
Bad for business overall, one would say.
I wouldn't imagine a shark attack happening in the middle of the lake.
We don't talk about the Great Lake sharks.
The what?
Kind of smiles at you again and winks. We have dolphins here too, lad.
You know, I'm just going to have to take your word for it.
You shouldn't.
Well, I trust you enough with my life on this boat. Are you a dark liquor or a clear liquor fellow? You have a preference?
Ab looks at you confused. Again, any friend of the sheriff's a friend of mine, lad.
All right. Just trying to be courteous. Thank you.
I appreciate it, but if Alan sent you my way, he probably had his reasons.
Can you give us 30 minutes while we mentally prepare? Is 30 minutes good with you guys?
Aye, that will give me time to warm up the boat and prepare your accommodations. Will you be requesting a turn-down service while we're out on the waves?
My friend, I don't have to Google turn-down service. I don't know what that is.
It's when they fold down the sheets at a hotel for you.
I'm not in that tax bracket, Charlie. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm not either. I don't turn down services.
I've seen enough movies to know what turn down service is.
Spark is like stunned. Cannot believe that this is real life.
All right, so Shecky starts preparing the boat some. You see him kind of gassing stuff up and kind of preparing to cast off and stuff like that, kind of cleaning up some. You definitely see him dump a bucket of fish heads over the side into the water while he's cleaning, et cetera, et cetera. What do you step away to talk about?
I'm going to be very honest. This man is leagues more genial than some of the sailors that I've had to commission to make deliveries over the border.
What?
Is leagues a pun on the whole sea captain situation?
Oh,
by the
are
way?
we really doing this right now?
Yes. Look, here's the thing. We are dealing with quite possibly the most bizarre real thing that's happening to us right now. I will have my humor when I can have it, because otherwise I may or may not disassociate myself into the open lake.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Don't. You're the one that's keeping it together from what I understand the best. But otherwise, at least you're not going to be on the boat. Silver linings playbook.
Yeah, I guess silver lining. I am a little worried that I'm going to get strangled in our hotel room, but
I mean, that is exactly why I suggested maybe calling the sheriff if you're going to get into any kind of sticky situations. But
I'm going to just go talk to the sheriff and see if he'll be my partner while you guys are gone.
cool. I want to make sure that everyone here is, for the most part, okay. Now, Saga, do you need a drink before we go on?
Oh no. I want to be completely sober for this adventure. Are you kidding me?
All right. Well, in that case, I pop out a pill canister from the inside of my jacket and I take a caffeine pill. Actually, let's throw in an Adderall. I think an Adderall would do well for Agent Sanguine to focus.
All right.
As I'm just chewing on it. All right. Well, I'm going to be ready in a little bit.
So, Saga, Sanguine, you're going with Shecky Yoda out in the boat. Spark, you're going to go back and talk to the sheriff and maybe check out the hotel or something?
That's correct.
All right. Sanguine, Saga, as you kind of get into the boat, Shecky Yoda makes a big show of kind of like extending a hand and getting you down into the boat and stuff like that. And then, despite his bizarre exterior and his also equally bizarre boat, he expertly pilots you away from the dock. Like, this man is an experienced sailor at a minimum. As he's kind of piloting you away from the dock, you sing under his breath a little bit, just and you do notice that kind of as you get away from the shore, and you weren't really noticing it from the land, there is a fog, and it kind of exists just above the surface of the water. It's like maybe a foot or two tall type of thing. Might be a kind of byproduct of just kind of cold air hitting the water, but who knows type of thing. But as you kind of look back, there is kind of almost like a bubble where there is no fog around the island. Like, we'll say, give or take, like 500 feet from the shore, give or take type of situation. But yeah, as you pull away, Spark, you kind of grow smaller on the dark as they pull away. And yeah, any thoughts now that you're out on the open water?
Do I notice this bubble sort of situation happening?
It's kind of hard to miss it. Like, now that you're out past the fog line, you can very easily see that there is kind of like this divide as you go out through it. Like, you kind of just run into the fog, and the fog does seem to kind of not go within a certain radius of the island.
Like, are we so far away that like we Can I pull out my binoculars?
Yeah.
And study it a little bit more?
Sure.
Okay, so what I'm looking for is basically like that is hyper interesting to me. Can I surmise where the epicenter would be of the bubble? Like, is it like affixed to? Is it more like lopsided, favoring a specific side of the island?
No. It's pretty kind of evenly. We'll call it 500 feet, but it's not exactly 500 feet. Like, it's a pretty consistent. Like, you go out the same distance from the water line, and the fog kind of stops, or the fog kind of starts, I guess, more accurately. Or maybe a better way of putting it is the fog does not get within a consistent distance of the coast, or of the kind of, of the beach, I guess, around the island, or whatever you want to call it.
Saga, are you seeing this?
What am I seeing?
Do you notice how there almost seems to be like an invisible wall that's kind of keeping the fog out? Because we're getting closer to the fog, but the fog is not getting closer to us.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. Can I borrow your binoculars?
Yeah, here.
So I take a look over there for a bit. And do I also note, I mean, considering I hadn't looked at it previously, but like, do I notice it's just kind of like off?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss. Like, it's also just like the fog doesn't get any closer, which doesn't make any sense. Like, you'd assume it would kind of go right up to the beach or something like that, or that would kind of be inconsistent.
Huh. So it's almost like it's being like purposely kept away from the beach line, essentially.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Is it like, I don't know if I have to do a search for it, but like, is it very defined, or is it like kind of like something that you can tell, like maybe there's like wind pushing it, or is it like very more clearly defined, like almost like a barrier versus like the wind pushing it?
Like the fog's butting up against it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say more like that. There's no way the wind is pushing it in all the directions simultaneously that it would have to be doing for this to work the way it is.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm like, yeah, that does, I mean, my specialty isn't exactly like weather, but like, doesn't look right. It wouldn't be blowing in like all the directions. Oh, this is really unsettling.
Jumping back to Agent Spark for a quick second now. Have you been watching them pull away from the dock?
Yeah.
They probably like get 500 or so feet out, and they kind of seem to start freaking out in the boat, but you can't see anything obvious they're freaking out about. Like, you see them moving around a bunch, you see like maybe the glint of the binoculars or something like that.
I just kind of stare at them for a while, wondering why they're, freaking out.
Yeah.
And I look around, on the water and whatnot. I mean, I imagine I see nothing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, clear day, not a trace of fog in sight. You can see almost all the way to the mainland.
Huh. I just kind of watch them leave. I'm a little confused and concerned, but once I've been standing there for about like 5 minutes is when I'll turn to go head back to find the sheriff.
Yeah, makes sense. Jumping back to the boat. Sanguine, Saga, you're kind of investigating the fog some. What do? You kind of see Spark moving away from you off the dock back towards the rest of town.
Hey, Saga, could you text Spark and just let her know that we're experiencing just a little bit of interesting weather? Hey, Captain.
Aye?
Is this some kind of special local fog, or does fog normally just kind of do that?
And it looks you confused. What do you mean? Doesn't come up towards the shore?
Yes.
Something about the island keeps it warm. You may have noticed a tad warmer on the island than it is out here. And it is. It's much colder out here than it was on the island. Like, you're feeling the wind, it's biting into you type of thing. Some say we're built on top of some geothermic something or other. Some say there's a devil that lives in the center of the island and keeps it warm and keeps the cold away. I think it's just dumb luck on our part. Perhaps it absorbs too much sun during the day and creates a bubble of warmth. But yes, it's pretty normal for the fog to do this.
All right.
Strange, though. I didn't see it coming in when we left, though.
Huh. Well, you're the local, so I'm going to trust that you know your way around this.
He shrugs at this. If a little fog kept me from sailing, I would never sail in these parts, especially this time of year.
Do I have reception even where how far I am to text Spark?
What are you texting him?
I'm texting him basically the phenomenon we're running into with the whole
Yeah,
fog
that gets through.
situation. Okay. I just kind of message him, let him know.
I mean, when I get the text, I just kind of I'll look around. I imagine I don't see anything strange, right?
Yeah, you just see them out in the boat. It's maybe a tad icy looking out, kind of as like a sharpness to really cold water and a really cold day, hypothetically. But like, yeah, no fog, no nothing.
Yeah, I kind of just send them a text back like, I don't see anything like that.
So before you get that text, Agent Saga, give me a luck at -20.
Oh boy. -20, you said?
Yep.
72 out of a modified 50 -20, failure.
Your phone no longer has signal.
Shuck. So I'm like waiting for a response. I'm staring at it for a bit, and then I notice my signal slowly fading away. And as it fades, it shows no signal. And I look over at Sanguine and I go, well, if we were going to get a response, we won't find out till later because I've got no signal at this point.
Well, I guess we just got to keep this pleasure cruise all to ourselves.
Aye, that's the spirit, Gilligan.
So what's the number for room service? As I kick back and lean back in my chair, or lean back in, I'm going to try to relax in whatever pose that I can in this boat. A look of, not consternation, a slight look of concern. My brows are furrowed as we just kind of head straight into the fog.
Kind of Shecky Yoder launches into a fake tourist kind of spiel and starts off with, well, gentlemen, to your right and to your left, you can see the freezing waters of Lake Michigan. And beyond that, you can see more of the freezing waters of Lake Michigan. On behalf of all of us at Negative Modifier, thank you for listening, and we do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are not already a subscriber, please consider becoming one, partially so you do not miss our next episode, but mostly because it helps new listeners find us. In addition to that, if you liked the episode, please consider clicking the thumbs up button below. If you'd like to further support the show, please consider joining us on Discord or becoming a Patreon patron.